Look, I'm looking at our time, and time is just about up. And I know that there are still questions around. Can we just take one last question, if it can be short, because we've got 5 minutes. We'll take some comment, and then we'll wrap up.
I've just got a question with the Department of Construction and the Civil Engineering Department. What about all of those Māoris that have gone through and are specialists in civil engineering, and trying to keep them in Aotearoa without going abroad over to Australia?
Minister, have you got any whakaaro on that?
Oh, I'm a fan for getting our people back to New Zealand. And it's quite interesting. I go over there to see the people and they talk about the glorious life. And yet they want some money for atarangi and they want to build a marae and things like that over in Australia. I said, what about the glorious life? Aren't your driveway paved in gold and stuff like this? Oh yeah, no, we're doing good, but why can't we have atarangi over here and some pūtea for it? So, but then you can understand, I went to the festival in Melbourne and there was a big long row, a very long row of kaumata, mau tokotoko, katoa. They all had a talking stick. And they're all there. And I said, your marae's back home are crying out for you, and here you are here. And they all said, well, we're here for our mokopuna. And that's the reality.
So how do we stop this big exodus overseas, and especially to Australia?
You know, government tried to increase the wages of essential services, and everyone said money for the rich and none for the poor and stuff like this. So, I mean, it is a tricky situation to balance that out, how you do it. But ask the entrepreneurs.
Heta.
Well, I think to myself, to some extent, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think a lot of really valuable experience can be learned working in those offshore environments. You'll get the opportunity to work on major projects, particularly in civil engineering, in places like Dubai. China, you know, and that's really exciting stuff. I mean, I think it's a matter of knowing what you want to do in the long term. So, you know, you might spend 10 years working in Dubai on a major construction project, or India or something like that, and then decide, okay, that's what I'm going to do for 10 years, then I'm going to come home and see what's available. And I think the challenge for people like yourself is to actually provide something, make sure those opportunities are for those people to come back to. Because we've all got friends who are probably working in Aussie, the UK, everywhere really, and they want to come home, but there's nothing much for them to do.
I was one of them. I did it. I did 20 years out of this country, doing what you say. You know, big projects, big money, glory of God, it's yours. But at the end of the day, this is your home. This is where you want to be. You want to bring your kids home. You want to learn your reo. You want to live on your marae or be a part of what makes you Māori. But it hurts like hell when you're in another country and you're doing it. But does the money, how do you weigh that up? You know, is it bucks? Is it my life? Is it what I want? So you got to make that decision. The thing that kills you when you come back here, though, is you ain't making the money. That's not what you're here for, you know. Honestly, you're not here for the money. You're here for lifestyle. You're here for why you're here. But you got to do it while you're young. You know, obviously, a lot of our people, we all know them. They're out there around the world. I meet them all the time, and they're doing this. But they'd rather be here. But you know what? You got to weigh it up. Well, why is this? You're your own man, right? You're your own rangatira. You're in the world. You're doing what you're there to do. That's where you've got to come up to it. But it is a struggle here. Tax is killing us here. You know, come on, I'm running a company too. I tell you, it's killing me. I'm looking at going back to America in 2 years. That's my attitude. You know, I'm like in a little box and I can't stand up. That's my analogy. I'm struggling to stand up here. Where do I go? What do I do in the next future? We think of the future as an entrepreneur. Do we follow creativity and become the ultimate Māori fella? You know, is that where we're going with it? I don't know. But yeah, I struggle with it, and I'm struggling with it now. So there is no right or wrong, or there's no magic, you know, panacea for it. You just have to be in your present moment. You have to be where you have to be. That's the hard part.
Just picking up on, so part of this is the nature of economics, and you know, New Zealand's not a big economy. And I know people have talked about, you know, so we can't compete with China when it comes to scale and manufacturing. So we need to be in things where we can sell New Zealand ink. Well, what is New Zealand ink? You know, what is it that defines New Zealand? And I know that there are a whole lot of things within Māoridom and Mātauranga Māori, and in terms of that, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. You know, so so we need to kind of realise that there is value in Māori and mātauranga Māori, and if we're going to try to market what we export, and we are an export-driven economy, then we need to try to find that way to differentiate our products from the rest of the world. And we are in a global economy now, so I think being Māori and mātauranga Māori and that Māori ink is a key to New Zealand's success.
Kia ora. Look, before I start to wrap and thank our guests, Rod, have you got any final words for us?
Just trying to wrap up with 3 themes. The first one is a real sense of the history of Māori entrepreneurship as it's been in the past. A real sense of a strong base now. There's $36 billion of assets, particularly the $20 billion out there in entrepreneurial companies. And what flows from that is a strong desire to learn new skills and to seek advice. So one of the last questions was, now once we've done the settlements, where do we invest? So those of you who've got business advice might have busy phones tomorrow as you get those calls. Thanks.
Kia ora, Rod. Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you for coming along this evening and listening and attentively to the kōrero that we've had tonight. Let me thank our esteemed panellists for their time tonight and for their participation, for also their stories, their personal stories, and the experiences that they have had over the years and what knowledge that they share with everybody today. They all come from different backgrounds, but obviously have something important to share in terms of Māori entrepreneurship. So, tēnā koutou, and thank you very much for your time. Minister, for your time and for the work that you do. I won't give you a hard time tonight. It's a nice, friendly forum tonight. We didn't even get into the Rugby World Cup or the waka, but we'll do that some other time.
Come and be entertained.
So thank you very much for your time, and to the other members of the panel, thank you all very, very much. And Christian, thank you for your, I'm sure, if anything, that you've shed some, and you're going to leave some inspiration for those that have come here to watch the forum, and also those who have been viewing it online. So thanks very, very much for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me and put your hands together for our panel. Can I also thank you again for coming along this evening, ladies and gentlemen, and to all those who are viewing this online. Great thing, technology these days. And can I also thank Unitec for providing this forum for a worthwhile discussion on Māori entrepreneurship. So without further ado, thank you all very much again. Have a brilliant night and the rest of the week. And Minister, we're looking forward to that Rugby World Cup. Kia ora tātou katoa.